Here's part 3 of my analysis. Jefferson Fisher on Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. It was an over 2-hour interview, packed full of such useful information. Please do watch it. Number 1, what a bully wants. What do you think that bully's after? I'm in pain and I want to cause you pain. Don't give it to them. Don't let them know. You don't want to give them energy or respond. It's no fun for them and they can't control you. He said to be like a wet blanket. If they're provoking you, don't respond. And that's where your power lies. Number 2, when someone is trying to provoke you, what do? I think he starts with silence, 5 to 7 seconds. And then that gives you a chance to think, okay, what type of insult is this, or what's this bully trying to do? And then you can formulate your simple comeback, which is not emotional. It's coming from a place of peace. You can respond, that is below my standard of response. Or you can say, how did you want me to respond to that? And then be silent again. You don't have to fill that silence, which is such a gift. Number 3, know yourself. Part of self-awareness is knowing what triggers you. He can say, I'll tell I'm getting defensive. Or he'll say, I can tell this is besetting me. I'm not really sure if he says it out loud to himself or to the other person, but I think either way, it would be effective. Like sometimes I sort of talk to myself in my head and I'm like, ooh, I'm not ready for this conversation. Or if I said it out loud, I could say, I'm not ready for this conversation. I actually did that last week, and I'll talk more about that at the end, so stick around, because I'll let you know how these worked in real life. Number 4, the power of the pause. Pauses are an absence of words, but they're not an absence of communication. Pauses show you have control of your emotions. Ooh, he also says they can also indicate when somebody's not being forthright. Maybe they're thinking of a story they need to create when you ask them a question. Number 5, ooh, this is a good one. Liars fear silence. So if you sense somebody maybe not being honest with you, use silence to suss it out. Silence is the number 1 killer of liars. Liars want us to engage in conversation so that we start to question our own reality. Silence takes that weapon away from them, and then they're just stuck with their lies. So if you hear something that doesn't sound right, sit in that silence and then say to them, I'm going to come back to that later. He does that in court, which is so cool. Or he'll say something feels off and then just sit in silence. But people that are making up lies, silence is stressful to them. Oh, and that's number 6. Honest people have all the patience in the world. Number 7, absolutes. Liars deal in absolutes. I always do that. She never does that. I've even started thinking about that when I'm talking to myself, saying, am I being honest with myself? Because sometimes we might not really look at reality. Extremes are a dead giveaway. That somebody's not usually telling the truth. Ooh, this is a good one. Number 9 is voice dynamics. You can be a more effective speaker if you start quietly and then ramp it up, like a preacher or a motivational speaker. The volume and power of your voice, you can establish vulnerability. You can establish yourself as a truth teller. Okay, number 10, be honest. Give the truth even though it may be against you at that moment. That establishes you as someone who can be trusted and a speaker of truth. A good way to move through conflict resolution is just to admit, I could have done that better. Admitting that you're not perfect, it's kind of rare and awesome. Hit a bunch more. Taking the high road, asking people about the future, lessons from Abraham Lincoln. I'm not going to go into it all because I want you to watch that video. I was actually able to use a lot of these techniques last week. I had just finished editing the video one night, and then the next day I had this conflict with somebody who I'm really close to, and I ordinarily would have shut down and been defensive and said things I don't really mean to defend myself and my position, and instead I put a lot of these into practice, and they were so effective. The best disagreement I've ever had. It was hard. It was hard changing how I normally respond, and using the silence, using the pause, saying some of those things to get the other person to think about what they were saying, and then being quiet again. That was really counterintuitive and against how I normally disagree with people, but it was so much more effective. And then the next day, the person was still antagonizing me and trying to like get me to respond, because they know me and they know I normally would have responded to half this stuff already, and I didn't, and I just stood my ground and really maintained. And then the next day they said, hey, I said some mean things, and they apologized. And then I apologized for the things that actually, some of the stuff was pretty valid that they were upset about. I had made some mistakes, and I repaired the things that some of the things they were upset about, and some of the things I said, you know what, that's not an issue anymore. I hope you understand that. I'm just really grateful, because they had things that had been bothering them for years and didn't feel like they could talk to me about it. And then now I feel like if something comes up, and even if it's old, we can talk about it and work it out. And we may not work it out the same day, and that's okay. But we have trust that we will respect each other in the process and do our best. I'm here to say it was really effective, and it takes practice. So study the material, and get the book. You know, there's a book on it. You can read the book. You can practice this stuff in the mirror. It's great information. These are great tools to have better connections with the people in your life, with people professionally, with people personally, and maybe people you don't even know yet. Empower yourself. So from myself to yourself, thank you for joining me on this journey, and I hope this was useful. And thank you to the people that comment and tell me that they find it useful, because then I know I'm on the right track. I have a lot. My nose is so itchy. Why is it so itchy? Okay, time out. We're honest and truth telling. No. More truth telling. What the heck is that?